Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to I'm Not Repeating Myself podcast. I'm your host, Mike, and I hope you heard what I said the first time because I'm not repeating myself. Glad everybody can be with me on this good Monday. Glad everybody tapping in with me. Always remember, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I'm on Apple, SoundCloud, Spotify, and YouTube. So please make sure you tap in with me on all those platforms. It don't cost nothing to do that. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I know I did. Weather been kind of gloomy lately. I feel like I ain't seen the sun in a few weeks. Kind of having some withdrawals, but it's all good, man. It's all good. So we gonna go ahead and jump right into this, man. It was a holiday this past week, a new holiday. So the Drought 3 dropped on DSPs. A nigga was excited, man. The best mixtape of all time. Hey, man, listen, y'all see it. Y'all see it, man. Reason why, this probably like 60, maybe 50% reason why Wayne became my GOAT is because of that mixtape alone, man. So, this must have been on a Thursday or Friday. I'm in the bed. I get up Friday morning, TL going crazy. And then I had a couple of text messages, people sending me links. I'm like, man, this shit about to get clipped. I hit the play on it. Shit sounded exactly how it sounded when it first dropped. I'm like, dog, ain't no way this, because niggas have been asking for this mixtape for a long time to come on DSPs. And we all know a lot of the artists, they go through struggles to get mixtapes on DSPs, of course, due to other people's records, the beat, all that. You got to go through all these hoops and all that shit. You can't really transfer the mixtapes that you did download at the time onto your phone with the compatibility and all that shit. I got all the mixtapes I ever downloaded on a hard drive. I could play it on my laptop. I just can't transfer them over to my phone for whatever reason. But man, you talking about, I played that shit. It's already been at the top of my heavy rotation playlist on Apple already. Like, it really took me back to the time. I remember when that mixtape dropped. I was on the drum line, so we had drum line practice. This had to have been a Thursday or Friday. No, it had to have been a Friday, because that's when mixtapes came out. They came out on Friday. Drumline practice, this like April or March, somewhere in between. I think the mixtape came out in April. This like April. We in the band room, we chilling. We just finished wrapping up a cadence we was practicing or whatever. This nigga named Robert comes in the band room, makes a beeline straight to the radio, pops the CD in, and goes straight to top back. And we like, what the fuck is this? Like, you talking about, I get to the crib, I ain't never downloaded a mixtape so fast. It was Wayne really stamping himself as the best. And you got to remember at the time, 07 coming off the heels of 06 with the dedication to, coming into 07. 07 was the year alone. Wayne was literally like 103 overall. He was on every feature. Mixtape series was going crazy. Just every verse that he hopped on, it was a body. It was a body. He was getting busy. And he really took niggas' beats and made them his own. Like, it wasn't no longer, that's Wayne's song now. That's what niggas was saying. That's Wayne's song now. We don't even recognize who that is. And I was just, from the beginning to the end, of course it's a double disc. I'm just like, damn, bro, what a fucking time, man. So whoever got that on there, salute to them, because I know Wayne had nothing to do with that shit. Wayne had to do with that. But I'm going to enjoy it as long as I can, because I feel like it's too good to be true, bro. I feel like it's really too good to be true. I don't feel like that shit is going to last long on there at all, bro. Because when I sit back and I think about it, and I'm looking, and I'm like, they literally have every track. I'm looking at the track list right now. Every track on here is exactly how it was on the original track list. I'm like, oh, hell no, dog. Like, upgrade your freestyle. Niggas already know what he doing with that. Put some keys on that. Sky's the limit. Don't Stop, Won't Stop with Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj was going crazy on that shit. Get High, Rule the World. I Can't Feel My Face, a.k.a. Hard Body. I always wondered why that shit is named I Can't Feel My Face, because the original, it was called Hard Body. Doors What I Got. Doors What I Got is the greatest freestyler of all time. Greatest freestyler of all time. That, you talking about flow, bars, just his charisma, just everything, bro. And that's also the verse that made Jay-Z question his ability. Like, damn, bro, like, do I still got it? Completely took whole song and just wrecked that shit. Seat Down Low, aka Top Back, crazy. You got I'm Blooded, Live from the 504, King Kong. Dipset repping time forever. Walk it out. Boom. Crazy. Presidents represent me with Currency. Hey man, niggas is rapping. And every feature on here, niggas was rapping. Currency was on here. I think Briscoe was on here. Of course, Nicki Minaj, Joel Santana on Black Republic. This when you talk about a mixtape, this is what a mixtape's supposed to be. You getting on other niggas' songs and killing they shit. Make niggas forget, yeah, that's not even dude's song no more. This motherfucker killed this shit, bro. And recently, I remember because when they dropped the Drought 3 on there Friday, I went back look at because they put the dedication on here. But if you remember, a few years ago, this might have been a year and a half ago. It might not have been 2 years. It was definitely last year. They dropped the whole dedication series on Apple Music. For whatever reason, 5 is still on there, 4 is still on there, 3 is on there, but 2 is not on there. 2 got clipped. Trust me, I know, because that shit was at the top of my heavy rotation playlist as well. That shit got clipped. So I was just like, damn. I'm waiting for that to get back on there. However, that's supposed to be it, because what happened was DJ Drama and all the Gangsta Grill mixtapes, they all got put on there. And it started from, I think Trap or Die was the first installment of them just putting it on there. And then Pharrell shit got on there, and then Pharrell shit got clipped. And then it was just a series of mixtapes coming out. But for whatever reason, the dedication 3 through 5 is still on there, but 2 is not on there. And one got put on there the same day as the Drought 3. And also the Drought is on there as well. But the Drought 3 just sent everybody into a frenzy on Friday. I mean, the TL was just full of the Drought 3, the stories, where everybody was doing when it first came out. And this really what established Wayne as my GOAT, man. Like, this nigga really kicked down the door 07. Then you got to think his iconic performance at the BET Hip Hop Awards in 07 when he performed Gossip and I'm Me. I think he performed Gossip and I'm Me, but it might have just been Gossip. And it was establishing, like, yes, I am the best rapper alive. Like, that's just what it is. From 04 to 2009, that's when Wayne established himself as the best rapper of all time to me. Like, that run from 04 to 09 cannot be touched. That's just my opinion. He'll always be my GOAT. But, man, that Drought 3 really was just like, all right, bro, Then, after that, you get the Carter 3. Then the next year, you get No Ceilings. No Ceilings really just cemented everything because there's no gap between the Drought 3 and No Ceilings. Literally no gap. I can remember exactly what I was doing at each time. That's how you really know a mixtape or album was really impactful for you, is when you can go back to the exact time frame, the exact day, what you was doing, all of that. It was just, you just know. So from the Drought 3 and No Ceiling time frame in between that time, that's really what it was just like. Everything was hitting. Nothing was amiss. From 04 to 09 was that time frame for me. But 07 to 09, it was just nonstop hit after hit after hit after hit. Barfest this. I'm taking your beat. This ain't your shit no more. And I really wish we could get back to artists rapping to other nigga shit. Of course, it would be hard because of the DSPs. You know, we don't got that piff no more. We don't got live mixtapes no more. I wish there was something to where we can have both of them coexist. I don't understand how we can't have that piff, live mixtapes, and still have our streaming sites all exist at one time. Plus, I mean, a lot of the artists don't feel like it does them any justice today because we all know how the music industry is as far as money, income, and all that. So they probably don't feel like it benefits them to just put out a free mixtape anymore. I don't know. I've always spoke about this. This also lumps into the time frame of the best era to me in rap. Like 2000 to 2009 is the best era of rap. The 2000s, point blank, period. But literally from 04 to 2000, I'd probably say 2012 was the last elite year of mixtapes, bro. 2012, I feel like in the 2010s was the best year in that decade for just music, period. But the mixtape era was just something I feel like we still need in rap. But again, with the streaming sites and all that, a lot of people feel like as if they can't, it really don't do them no justice. I feel like it's just drop a YouTube video or something. Like, drop a YouTube video of you rapping over a nigga shit. Like, I've seen niggas rap over somebody else shit and make it like a video. You get what I'm saying? But I wish there was a way that piff, live mixtapes, all them shit can coexist at the same time. But like I said, man, I'm gonna enjoy this because, man, I've been spending this. I've been playing, put some keys on that. That's probably been the most played out of this mixtape so far since I got it. Those what I got, of course. You know, even Promise, like this nigga rapping over Sierra shit. Like this nigga Wayne was really on a different fucking level. And at the time, in real time, it's nothing niggas can really say. It was like, it's not like you not great, but this nigga here is really on another fucking level. Like, look, he would say it through his raps, like I'm an alien. And he literally wasn't like this nigga is not from this, he not from this planet. So I want to salute whoever it is that got this mixtape on DSPs, because man, it took me back. It took me back to a great time, man. I'm gonna enjoy this shit. And literally no track is missing. That's another thing. Like none of this shit is missing on here, bro. So they really killed it with this, man. They really, and actually they got the real date on here, April 13th, 2007. Yup. I was a sophomore in high school when that shit dropped, bro. Like I said, this nigga Robert made a beeline straight to the radio. And we like, bro, what the fuck is this? And just boom, let the rest of that shit play. Got to the crib, downloaded that shit. And back then we had the MP3 players. You had to make sure you had a pack of batteries on you to make sure, because your battery was gonna be dying if you was listening to that shit. But man, salute to whoever got this shit on here, man. I hope this continues to be a trend of getting mixtapes back on DSPs, because a lot of the times, and I don't think it's really the artist's fault. I remember when Wale dropped More About Nothing on DSPs, but that shit was stepped on like a motherfucker. Wayne dropped No Ceilings on DSPs. That shit was stepped on like a motherfucker. It even had the original artwork. That shit was stepped on like a motherfucker. But some of the legendary mixtapes that we got, if you can get them shit on there with the original artwork, original tags, oh, that's another thing. The DJ tags that's really gonna make me know, okay, yeah, we back for real. Have the original DJ tags on these mixtapes if you choose to put these shit back on here, because it doesn't. Like I said, it's gonna be stepped on. It's gonna be stepped on if we don't get it. Because when I looked at Dedication, when Dedication came back on here, I was like, all right, like what's this gonna be like? But they got it all back on here, so I don't know if it's something to do with the labels, you know, them not getting the samples cleared, whatever the case may be. But I'm just excited, and I hope this is a trend of rolling out great mixtapes. Fabulous still needs some mixtapes on streaming sites. There's no competition series. You know, the Soul Tape series. I think the Soul Tape, I think he did drop the Soul Tape series on here. Let me see if Fabulous dropped that on here, because everybody reveres that, of course, as his best work of all time. So yeah, he got all three on here. Yeah, I was sure. I remember that. I think that dropped on DSPs last year, May. So everybody else, hey, you know who you are, Jeezy. You get what I'm saying? Even 50 need to get his mixtapes on here. You get what I'm saying? Back to the Future. Guess Who's Back? All that. Who else? Who else got a couple of classic mixtapes that I fuck with? Of course, Wale, J. Cole. J. Cole got to get his whole mixtape discography on there. I know he got Friday Night Lights finally on there. He did that as a rollout for the anticipation of his new album that's supposed to be coming out the fall off. But everybody, Lloyd Banks. Who else? Nobody. Let me think. It's a slew. Shit, if Gucci was to put his goddamn mixtapes on there, my goodness, I can imagine what that upload process would be like. That nigga was dropping a mixtape every fucking week during his peak, bro. But I said to say, man, thank you again for whoever dropped the Drop 3 on here. Because again, hey, man, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, man, greatest of all time. So we did have some new music that dropped this week. We had some, and I'm gonna go ahead and start off with Gunna. Gunna dropped an album called. Let me get to Gunna, man. Gunna dropped the album called The Last One. This album is 25 tracks. So let me go ahead and say this with Gunna's album, because I did like his last one that he put out. I think his last album came out a few years ago. Let me see. His last one, yes, it was. No, his last album was last year, One of One. But the one after that, when he had got out of jail, was A Gift and a Curse. That actually was a pretty good album. A Gift and a Curse was pretty good. I really didn't like One of One too much. And now you have The Last One. The Last One really sounds like just a run-on of the same song for like 15 tracks. You got to think this album is 25 tracks long, bro. It's 25 tracks. And really for about 1 through 16, it kind of sounds like the same record. I'm talking about from beat, the cadence, This is not where I'm talking about as far as the content. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm just talking about as far as the beat, the cadence, the flow, and it just sounds like one repeated song for 16 tracks. Now, I do like Fuck With Your Boy, and I do like Won't Stop. I do like One Stop. Won't Stop. That's a dope record. I work out in the gym to that record. That's a really dope record. But outside of them two tracks, this shit kind of lackluster, bro, for real. Because like I said, it just sounds like a run on. And I don't know if it's a producer thing. I don't know if he needs to mix it up. Because I'm not saying you can definitely have one producer on the album and it sound amazing. That's not what we just came off the heels of the Clips with, Pharrell and all that. But it just sounds like as far as the song structure, that shit sound the same. It sound the same. It sounds kind of lazy on some of the records as far as his flow, his delivery, and everything like that. But I like Fuck With Your Boy and Won't Stop. And I feel like for those two to only be the only standout tracks on the 25 track album, I'm kind of like, yeah, dog, I'm kind of cool on that, bro. Like, I'm kind of cool. And honestly, I think with Gunna, because I never say he needs to take a break or no artist to take a break, but probably just take a step back and reevaluate your production process, your song structure process, and dumb it. And again, put like size it down some. 25 tracks is a lot of fucking records to give somebody, bro. Like, and I understand that's kind of like his thing because on 101 it was 20 tracks. A Gift and a Curse was 15 tracks. So see, that's perfect. I always say 12 to 15 tracks is right in that sweet spot. And I like that album. That's a very good album. A Gift and a Curse is a very good album from Gunna. But this one right here, very lackluster, bro. The last one, very lackluster. Like I said, it's only 2 tracks for real that stand out, bro. I'm cool on it. I don't really feel like now I do feel like he can work, Won't Stop. That's a record I feel like that he can work and it can become a hit. If you want to take anything from this album, take that and build on that momentum of that record. Because I fuck with that record. That record is very, very good. I fuck with that. But outside of this, man, this shit was just, it was kind of like, hey, I was damn near about to fall asleep through some of this shit, man. But again, a lot of artists really gotta take the quality over quantity. I understand a lot of the times a lot of y'all like to give us, I'm gonna give them 18, 20 tracks. But when you start tapping in the 20 to 25 range, them shit better be hitting. I'm sorry, bro. Them shit gotta be hitting, bro, because it's hard to keep a fan's attention when you start tapping into that range, bro. It really is. You really gotta be giving it some shit. And I feel like you got to really have a theme when you start tapping into 20 to 25 tracks. You might have to make this like some skit type shit. You get what I'm saying? Like really make it like a theme throughout that whole album. But if you just throwing on 20 to 25 tracks and that shit sound repetitive, you're doing yourself a disservice because you're not going to get the reception that you want. And I feel like a lot of people not really going to fuck with that shit, bro. And again, I like Gunna. I understand he kind of been going through some shit, since he got out as far as, the politics around Atlanta and all that shit with him and Thug and all that. But hopefully on his next project, he can take a step back. Dog, get back to the 12 to 15 track structure, please. Please. Not just Gunna, a lot of you rappers. Please get back to the 12, 15 track structure. Because it's just more beneficial, man. And I think you'll get a better reception. Your quality will be better. Don't so much focus on, I made a track, I got to put it out. Bro, it's okay to have unreleased tracks, bro. It's okay to have unreleased tracks and really sit with it. Don't feel like because you gotta make a mark or you trying to hit a certain deadline or this gotta be a certain length that you just gotta give us. No, bro, 12 to 15. 12 to 15 will just be perfect. So hopefully, on his next album he can take a step at that. But as far as the last one, I'm not feeling it, bro. I'm not. I only like Fuck With Your Boy and Won't Stop. Other than that, very, very lackluster. So, next up we had Jid, man. And honestly, I wasn't a Jid fan. I never really been. I mean, I've heard him on a couple of albums, a couple of features here and there. He definitely did his thing on Bodies. With all said, I gave that record a lot of props. He really did his thing on Bodies. I fuck with that record. I listened to his album, God Does Like Ugly. I will say it's pretty good. It's a pretty good album, man. It's a pretty good album. I like the structure. I like the direction that he took with it. he is a good rapper, but a lot of the times, a lot of the rappers who are good rappers really can't make songs. He got some good songs on here. He really do. I like Work. I like Community with the clip. Shout out to Pusha T and Malice again for killing shit. I do like VCRs with Vince Staples. I like Wholeheartedly with Ty Dolla $ign and Black. No Boo with Jesse Reyes. Of Blue, that might be my favorite track on this album. Of Blue, yeah, I fuck with that. That's the 13th track on this album. This album is 15 tracks. Hey, see, niggas got that's the formula, bro. 12 to 15 tracks. That's the formula. But all in all, this is a pretty good album, man. If I had to rate it, I'd probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. This is very solid album. Again, good raps, good production. The beats are very good. It fit him. It didn't feel like nothing was forced. It didn't feel like nothing was forced on this album. I felt like he kind of stayed in his pocket. If he was to drop another album, I definitely pay attention to it. But yeah, Jid did a good job, man. And you know, a lot of my friends, a lot of people that I interact with on social media been telling me, man, you gotta check out Jid, bro. You gotta check out Jid. But I was gonna check it out because when I heard him on Bodies with Offset, I'm like, all right, bro, I'm gonna give Dog a chance. And like I said, I always gotta be fair. So I listened to the album and I really do like it. He did a good job. And all the features fit as well. There's not a feature on here that I felt like was forced, except the first one with Westside, because I just don't really listen to dude like that. But other than that, all these features fit. All of them fit. Again, Malice doing what he do, Pusha T doing what they do, doing what he do. The Clips is just having an amazing year overall. These niggas getting on everybody tracks and just killing shit on top of their own shit. But that's consensus, you know, the one that everybody is looking towards on this album is Community. But I like Of Blue. Of Blue is my favorite track on this album. That shit is fire. But other tracks that I like, again, I like VCR with Vince Staples, Work, No Boo, Wholeheartedly, On McAfee with Baby Kia. Shit was fire, bro. Shit was fire. K-Word with Pastor Troy. That shit was fire. But man, shout out to Jid, man. You did a good job. You did a good job on this album, bro. You definitely did a good job. So next up, we had one of my favorite artists from the West Coast drop, Mozzy. Nigga Mozzy, man. Mozzy came out again with an album called Intuitive Thoughts 2. And if you remember back in April, he dropped the first installment of the series, Intrusive Thoughts, excuse me. Intrusive Thoughts came out, I think, in, what was that? That was April, or let me see. I got it right here. Oh, it did come out in April. So shout out to him for circling the block again, giving us a part 2, Intrusive Thoughts 2 by Mozzy. Dope album. I always like the direction that he goes on this album, and he really does stick to a sound. But the thing with Mozzy is even though he sticks to a certain pocket and sound, none of his tracks sound pretty much the same. Like, he's not giving me the same track for 13, 15 tracks. Again, this album is 12 tracks. And, man, this nigga, man, just continues to be consistent, bro. This is a very good album. Another album where all the features fit. He got Boosie on here with Super Soaker, dope record. He got Honcho on here, All I Got. Mill Z, December, Nardo Wick. My favorite track on this album is, honestly, if I had to pick, I'm gonna say On a B. I like On a B and Stutter with Nardo Wick. Out the gates for a necklace, that shit is fire. But I always like when Mozzy drop, because Mozzy is consistent. That nigga always puts out dope records. I like his raps. I like his style. That nigga is very heartfelt. When he raps, like, you could really feel him. Like, you could really feel that pain. Like, he got another underrated, I can't really say it's a skill because your voice is your voice, but I like his rap voice. His rap voice just always, you know, it kind of brings the track alive. You get what I'm saying? Like, you could really feel it, especially when he starts rapping from a pain perspective. That nigga Mozzy really be getting busy, bro. So I really fuck with this project. Intrusive Thoughts too. This nigga just continues to stay in a consistent pocket, stay in the lane. So if you're not really a fan of Mozzy, I encourage you to please go check him out. He's one of the best niggas from the West Coast, in my opinion. I really fuck with this record, man. Oh, Pray for Grace. That's another dope record. Lost in the Trench. Again, when Mozzy start getting in that pocket of rapping from a pain perspective, you know, telling stories, that nigga is a dope storyteller as well, too. That's a very underrated skill that Mozzy got. Mozzy is a very, very dope storyteller. And then closing out, will it ever stop raining? This nigga just be getting busy, man. Niggas be getting busy. So salute to Mozzy, man, for putting out another dope project. That's Intrusive Thoughts too. Again, if you didn't check out the first Intrusive Thoughts that came out in April, please go check that out. But that definitely was a dope album, man. Salute them. If I had to give it a rate, I'd probably give it a solid 8 out of 10. It's a solid 8 out of 10. Definitely a dope project. Something I'll keep in rotation for sure. So next up, in other hip hop news this week, we've been having a slew of niggas, doing this comparison of, rappers who rap better than this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock this first one out because I felt like this one is something that we constantly heard over the last 3-4 years. So Mickey Factz says that Lupe is a way better lyricist than Kendrick Lamar. Or he might not have said way better. He said better. But I feel like this is something that's constantly brought up every 9 to 10 months over the last 3 years. My opinion on it is I think Kendrick Lamar is a better rapper, better artist, better lyricist, all of that. Any metric that you want to use in this comparison, Kendrick gets a checkbox for me. I'm not saying niggas can't have their opinion. If you feel like Lupe is a better lyricist than Kendrick, that's fine. But I feel like Kendrick is a better storyteller, better bar for bar. He's more witty. He does better albums, and that's why I'm giving Kendrick the nod on that, bro. I just feel, and he's been more impactful. I feel like a lot of the times we get kind of caught up in the rappers who kind of just don't. When I see these comparisons, I really see it in the comparison of the rapper who clearly has the better impact and better albums versus the rapper who might have had a classic or a few good albums, but he can rap his ass off. It always really be that comparison. At the end of the day, yes, you do have a lot of dope rappers out here. You do. But we really judge these niggas off their output, bruh. We really do. I'm not saying Lupe don't got dope output. He does. But in comparison to Kendrick Lamar, like, I really don't, especially off the heels of last year, I don't see a situation where Lupe Fiasco is barring Kendrick up. I really don't. I don't. I feel like it would be a long day for him. And I kind of feel like we kind of always, when we have these comparisons, it's really always that kind of draw up. It's the guy who clearly got the classics, an icon, and then you kind of got the guy who, this nigga, remember when he put out Food and Liquor? Remember when he put out The Cool, all that? But, he don't got that same impact or he don't got better output than the other guy. But he can rap his ass off. But at the end of the day, it's everybody's opinion. I'm kind of over that. Man. I am. Because this next one is really hilarious to me. Because will.i.am says that Black Thought is 1,000,000,000 times better than Jay-Z. So let me go... Let me go ahead and play this clip, man, because when I seen this shit, I'm like, all right, bro. Like, niggas know what they doing with it. Let me go ahead. I got it right here.
Black Thought is 1,000,000,000 times better than Jay-Z.
1,000,000,000,000?
Trillion.
What's your logic behind that?
Seeing Black Thought, what he's capable of just off the top. And yeah, Jay's off the top is dope too. Jay's dope. Don't get me wrong.
No.
But Jay's already said everything that he's just regurgitating everything he's already said, including other rappers. When everything that Black Thought comes up with is like, wait, I never heard that one. Wow, you split that word up like that? And that's just my that's just me. Yeah. Now, there's a lot of people that be like, what the fuck you know about hip-hop, will.i.am? I don't give a fuck what you think. I just know what I think and what I in my head, top 5 MCs. It's always Biggie, Tupac, Nas, Jay. I'm like, KRS, Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, Nas, Black Thought.
That's a nice five. Yeah, that's a nice 5.
Fairmont.
Yeah.
There's another one like, what is that cadence? Like, unheard of.
Yeah.
And yes, Jay-Z's awesome. I'm not taking away from his brilliance. I just don't think he's better than Black Thought. I'd like to see a battle. I like to see them niggas battle. And if they don't want to battle in person, someone is going to get an AI simulator that takes all their body of work and all their concerts and flows, and you'll see exactly who's doper. And somebody's going to make it.
I like how you put his glasses on.
Somebody might be him. Black Thought is 1,000,000,000 times.
So I'm not gonna say will.i.am can't have his opinion, bro. will.i.am 100% can have his opinion about Black Thought being a better rapper than Jay-Z. But a trillion times, you know what you're doing with that. You trying to create a narrative, bro. You trying like, let's be real. Let's be real, bro. Like, no. Like, what's wrong with just saying, hey, my personal opinion, I think that Black Thought is a better rapper than Jay-Z. When you say a trillion, you're trying to do something. It's like a trillion. Like, come on, bro. Nobody would say like LaDainian Thompson is a trillion times better than Barry Sanders. Like, no, bro. Like that's simply not true. Like, if you prefer LT over Barry Sanders, cool. If you prefer Barry over LT, cool. But it's a reason why Jay is considered the GOAT of this shit, man. He hasn't regurgitated shit the same thing over time and all this. And another thing too. And this again, I promise you, I'm not shitting on Black Thought, but a lot of people reference his freestyle on Funk Flex, right? Just because you rap for a long time and you say a bunch of words, that don't make you just this tremendous rapper. It was a cool freestyle, bro. It was. But in comparison to Jay-Z, and I know Black Thought, he's done work with the Roots. He got a couple of solo albums. But again, back to the rappers who rap, and then you got the other rapper who rap, but he got classic albums. That's another one of those things. I'm never putting Black Thought and Jay-Z in the same conversation. Ever. Not even from a rapping standpoint. Again, that's my opinion. Is Black Thought a dope rapper? Yes, he is. But Jay-Z is up here when it comes to that rapping shit, albums, all of that shit. All of it. Like, it's levels for a reason, bro. It's level for a reason. Now, again, if Will wants to say, in my opinion, I feel like Black Thought is better than Jay-Z, cool. But when you put a trillion on it, you really trying to shit on a nigga, bro. And it's not like you talking about, it's not like you talking about, let's say, Beanie Siegel or something like that, or T.I. or Jeezy. You talking about Jay-Z, who people consider, the GOAT of this shit. Like, come on, like you know what you doing with that. You know exactly what the fuck you doing with that shit. will.i.am. Like, come on, bro. Like, why even say it? You know what I'm saying? Like, again, he can have his opinion, but when you put the trillion on it, it's kind of like, all right, bro. I don't really care about will.i.am's background. I don't. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't really care about his background. I don't care if he really don't have too many rap records. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But when you put a trillion on that kind of sounds like this is something else there. It's something else. It's something else, because there's no way that you could put, you talking about you want to see them battle. Bro, it's more than just rhyming words, my nigga. Like, Jay got the flow, he got the charisma, he could tap into different flows, cadences. The wordplay is amazing. Metaphors, the swagger. It's multiple elements when it comes to this rapper shit. It's just not one thing. Now, you do got some rappers who do have a strong, how can I say, they got a strong attribute. Like, one thing I say about Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar is, and recently after his last year, he jumped up into my top 10. But one thing I've always remained consistent with Kendrick Lamar is that he's a dope storyteller. Him and Biggie is like top 2 storytellers of all time. I've always said that. Kendrick Lamar and Biggie is two of, if not the best storytellers of all time. Now, if you was to do a Biggie and Kendrick comparison, I like that. I like shit like that. But when you talk about Black Thought and Jay, no, bro, because with Kendrick and Biggie, you got the raps. You got the album output. Granted, Biggie died early, but his 2 albums were that impactful. Kendrick Lamar, same thing. Good Kid, Mad City. What was the first album? That shit a classic. That I'm having a brain fart right now. Section 80. Of course, you just had G&X. You got Damn. And then you got his display of what he did in the battle with Drake last year. It's like, it's so much shit that you can reference. With Black Thought, I don't really have those moments that I can reference with Jay. You get what I'm saying? Like, even from a feature standpoint, when Jay get on the feature, there's not one, I can't think of one whack Jay-Z feature outside of the High remix. I can't. So it's not like he can't jump on any type of beat and get busy. You get what I'm saying? Like, he just has those moments. Most of Jay's best moments is on features outside of his own shit. Black Thought just don't have those moments, bro. He don't. So when you put the stamp of a trillion on it, that's when I'm kind of like, all right, bro. Like, What the fuck are we doing, man? But again, Will I Am, you can have your opinion, bro, but I'm not rolling, bro. I'm not rolling with the trillion shit. I'm sorry. Can't do that. So next up, this is kind of crazy. So BET suspends Hip Hop Awards and Soul Train's awards indefinitely. That is kind of crazy. I did kind of see it coming because I remember the BET Hip Hop Awards. It's not the BET Awards, the BET Hip Hop Awards. I remember last year when I seen that shit. These niggas look like they shot this shit in a hotel ballroom. Like the ceiling was low as hell when the rappers was on stage. It looked like they was legit in a fucking ballroom. And I'm like, bro, what the hell is this? Like, I always felt like BET should have treated the awards like, I mean, they should treat the hip hop awards like they do the BET awards. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really put a lot of effort into the BET awards. You know, the promo, the prestige, and all the hip hop awards. October come around, you just see motherfuckers pop up on the carpet, and they be like, "Oh yeah, this will air on Tuesday." Like, huh? Like, come on, bro. But I think this, what this is telling me is that they not putting no more money into this shit. If you want to catch this shit, they might just put this shit on the BET Plus app. That's what it's looking like to me because they're going to suspend it because they did say that this is something that they may revisit. So it's look like they're probably going to reevaluate it. And if they do bring that shit back, you're going to have to catch that shit on the streaming app, bro, because they losing money just putting that shit on TV and people really not tuning in. With the Soul Train Awards, I can't say that me personally have been tapped into the Soul Train Awards. I haven't. It's been years probably since I tapped into that shit. And I don't even remember the last time being on BET. I could be wrong, but I remember the last time it probably was on another network if I'm not mistaken. But the Soul Train Awards lost his luster years ago, I think. Years ago. Years. This had to have been, I want to say early 2000s. Since the last time the Soul Train Awards was talked about, like, yeah, we about to sit down. We really about to, talk about this, get into this shit. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know what direction they're gonna go as far as the Soul Train Awards, but the BT Hip Hop Awards, when it first came out, that shit really was a staple for real. It really was a staple, bro. Like, you got to think the ciphers was one of the biggest things. I can remember, Slaughterhouse, Good Music, having the most iconic ciphers in BET Awards hip hop history. You get what I'm saying? But now it's kind of like they don't even do that no more. They don't. And we gotta get back to that. We gotta get back to that. We just can't have, the older generation still tapping into that element. And that's why I'm against, and I spoke about this before, and this is why I praise Malice for doing what he doing at 52 years old is phenomenal. Like, we gotta dub the ageism in hip hop. I say get a mix. Get like 2-3 older from the older generation, 2 or 3 from the newer generation. Like, put Jid in the cypher with Malice. You get what I'm saying? Like, get who else? Probably get Kendrick. Kendrick probably wouldn't do it. Get Kendrick in the cypher with Mozzy or something, like niggas who really be rapping. You get what I'm saying? Shit, Offset be rapping. Get Offset in the cypher with somebody from back then. But we gotta get back to the cypher aspect, bro. We gotta get back to the cypher aspect. I say get 2 or 3 from the older generation, 2 or 3 from the new generation. Put them boys in the cypher, and I think it'd kind of get it's what's the word I'm looking for? It'd get its prestige back. You get what I'm saying? Because I felt like last year they kind of just like, here, nigga, damn, with the BT Hip Hop Awards. That setup was insane. It looked like they legit was in a fucking ballroom. I'm like, bro, why is this ceiling so fucking low? Like, they're not even in the auditorium for real. You get what I'm saying? Like, that shit had looked crazy. And again, the Soul Train Awards, I'm kind of like, I don't know. But it's not, a lot of people will say, well, what's on the film. Bro, they got to put the effort. Like, it's their job to promote it. It's their job to get people to want to watch it. Get a dope host. Like, when the BT Awards come out, bro, you already know we getting a dope host. They start promoting it like 2-3 weeks prior. BT Awards been killing shit. They got to have the same type of effort when it comes to the Hip Hop Awards. You got to, bro. You got to, because why even play around with it? Like I said, over the last couple years, it's kind of like a here nigga damn for the Hip Hop Awards. You pre-recording it first off, so it ain't live. So it's kind of like, all right, bro, you're like, we gonna go ahead and record, do edits and da-da-da-da. Like, no, that's not how. That's not how it's supposed to be, bro. You got to go out here and really, really put the effort in. So I'm interested to see what direction BET takes as far as that. because we do know BT has also transferred over ownership over the last couple years. So I don't know, man. But hopefully the Hip Hop Awards is not something that ends completely and can get back to where it was at its peak, bro. Because we just had so many legendary moments, and the BT does need the Hip Hop Awards. We do need the Hip Hop Awards. That's something that it's a staple. Like, it's culture, bro. It's culture at the end of the day. Shit, if y'all need some help, man, holla at me. I definitely can tell you what to do, bro. Got to cut the check though. But holla at me if y'all need some assistance, man. So, getting into some sports news, man. So preseason kicked off this week. Preseason definitely kicked off this week. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for my squad a little bit. You know, I'm excited to see other players that I like on other teams getting shit popping. So the first preseason game for my Panthers kicked off on Friday. We played the Browns. You know, it was the new some of my new wide receiver one rookie, T Mac, aka I'ma say aka, even though his real name is Tatoria McMillan. I think he came out here and balled, bruh. T Mac is balling. T Mac is balling. First play of the game, they go deep on a deep route. Crazy catch over the shoulder, great concentration. You know, Jalen Coker, shout out to Jalen Coker. He's been doing this thing as a wide receiver for us. And I'm going to say this right now. Xavier Legette, you better watch it, bruh. Because Jalen Coker on your ass. He's on your ass. And I'm not saying Xavier Legette has had a bad camp. I'm not saying that at all. But this wide receiver room is getting crowded. It's getting crowded. That's a good thing for us. It's getting crowded. But I like the way Coker and T-Mac is looking, man. I like the way Bryce is looking. The defense, you know, still got a lot of work. Because I think our defense is going to take a lot of hits this year. I think niggas going to be taking a lot of turns on us as far as running up the score on us. I'm just going to be completely honest. I think it's going to be a long day for our defense. We still don't even got no premier linebacker. This is the first time I can say as a Panthers fan in years, I don't know who our standout linebacker is. We throughout our franchise history, we have always kind of had a premier linebacker. I don't know who the fuck our premier linebacker is this year, bro. I don't. J.C. Horn, he didn't play because he was in a car accident. So Mike Jackson, he's on the other side. He looked pretty good. But just overall as a team, I'm thinking we'll probably be about a 8 with a potential to win 9 game type of team. Definitely take a step up from the 3 wins we had last year. Bryce Young, I think definitely takes another leap because he ended the year on a high note. I think over the last 6 games, he had 8 to 10 touchdowns, no interceptions. So Bryce took that benching very, very personal, as he should, bro, because he needed to get benched. I was very critical of Bryce Young on the pod last year, so it's good to see him back good. I'm liking what Dave Canales is doing with the offense, but that defense is going to be a long season for our defense, bro. We don't got too many playmakers on the edge. I like what Nick Scorton was doing. He had a high PFF grade in the first preseason game. But we just don't got no premier edge. Derek Brown gonna do his thing. Ashawn Robinson gonna do his thing on the interior. We got some big dogs in the middle. But them edges, man, and them linebackers, ain't it. It ain't it. But T-Mac, hey, man, I'm excited. We haven't had a wide receiver one since DJ Moore left. So it's great to see him I think he's gonna just kill off Rip. I think T-Mac is gonna kill off Rip, bro. There's not too much you can do with him. He's 6'4", about 220. He can move. He can run routes. He can get separation. And he got strong hands, bro. That's another thing. He got strong hands. He did have a drop touchdown on a slant route. I kind of felt like he was doing too many extra moves on that. But that's something that him and Bryce going to get together to time it on, because Bryce did what he was supposed to do. I think he wasn't anticipating it being there that fast, being that he was doing trying to put a double move on a slant. But other than that, man, I like what I saw. I like what I saw more from an offensive standpoint from my team. Again, a lot of the defensive starters didn't play much, so we'll probably get to see next week. I think when we play the Texans, we'll see how much the starters get to play. On the flip side, you had Shedeur Sanders. He played. He debuted because Gabriel was hurt, Joe Flacco was hurt, and, of course, Deshaun Watson is hurt. So he stepped into the starter role. I think he played the full game against us. Shedeur looks pretty good, man. He looked pretty good. Granted, it was against our second and third string defense, but I'll give credit where credit is due. I still think Shedeur Sanders has a ceiling of a Teddy Bridgewater type quarterback. I really have to see more from him, because I do think going into the season, at this point, you might as well start him. Why not? You ain't got shit to lose. I don't really feel like you want to go into the season starting out Flacco. You know, Dylan Gabriel, he's still hurt. Of course, Deshaun Watson, he recovering. You might as well go ahead and roll with it. Roll with Shedeur Sanders, see what he can do. But I still think he has a lot more work he needs to do. He still kind of tends to look for the home run. He has good accuracy. But one of my critiques of Shedeur was he kind of always looks for the home run. He doesn't really go through his processes as well as he should. But I do feel like that's something that can be worked on. He has somewhat of a good arm as far as arm strength, but his accuracy is probably one of his his best attributes. He is using his legs a little bit better. I did see that. But I still think he kind of is in that window of a Teddy Bridgewater type quarterback, which is not a bad thing. Teddy Bridgewater was a solid starter for a few years in the NFL, got the job done. But that's what I see. Does Shedeur have potential to be better? Of course. I would just have to see it. I would have to see it. But it was dope to see him get out there because, of course, I never agree with him being a fifth round quarterback. That was fucking insane. That was still ridiculous. But Shedeur looked good, man. He looked good. He looked good. So I'm interested to see how the rest of the preseason goes heading into week 1, how that looks. And we'll see how that goes. But that's pretty much all I got as far as, the preseason, my anticipation of the season. For the Panthers, I just want us to, I would love for us to make the playoffs, but I'm not gonna jump out the window, bro. I'm not gonna jump out the window because, and I want to give myself a pat on the back. I think me as a Panther fan, probably it kind of started phasing out around 2021 when I really felt like we had a strong team and we supposed to get busy, that we just started playing quarterback carousel. But 2018, Mike as a Panthers fan, and 2025, Mike as a Panthers fan, I'm a lot better. I don't let these motherfuckers ruin my Sundays like how they used to, bro. I really don't. I remember one time I was in the living room. I was with my ex at the time. I'm watching the game we had against the Seahawks. It's 2018. It's a crucial game. And this motherfucker, Captain Munderland, blew a big coverage on third down that we needed. That pretty much sealed the game. And I took a paper towel roll and launched that shit at the fucking wall, bro. I'm shitting. I'm pissed like a motherfucker, bro. But now it's kind of like, maybe because we've been down for so long, it's kind of like I kind of know what to expect. So it's kind of like these niggas can't really. So let's say hypothetically these niggas play around and fuck around and start season 4-0, 5-0. I'm still not gonna go crazy. Of course I'm gonna be happy as a fan. I do, but a part of me is kind of like we've been down for so long, so I don't want to get tricked. We haven't been to the playoffs since 2017. We haven't had a playoff win since 2015. That was our Super Bowl year. That was 10 years ago. I cannot believe that was 10 years ago, bro. So as far as my Panthers, bro, I'm just excited to see what T-Mac does. Clearly my wide receiver one. I'm interested to see how the wide receiver depth chart rolls out because our wide receiver room is pretty strong. We got Coker, we got Thielen, we got T-Mac, we got Leggett, we got Horn, who's supposed to be doing his thing. I got to see more from him. But our wide receiver room is looking strong. Again, our defense, funny in the light. I still don't know who our linebackers is. As a Panthers franchise, I've never known for us to not have a linebacker. I don't know who's going to be calling plays on defense, who's going to have the communication in their headset. So that's something that I got to wait on to see. But overall, I'm more so excited about T-Mac, bro. T-Mac is definitely high on my list as far as rookies to watch this year, not just because he's on my team, but I was high on him coming out of Arizona, bro. And I knew once it got to us on the draft board, we need to get him. So salute to Bryce. Bryce looking like he's going to take that leap this year. So we just got to wait out to see, man. We got to wait out to see. Next up, I found this interesting. So the NFL and the ESPN struck a deal, man. So niggas out here giving each other equity and all kind of shit. So ESPN is acquiring NFL Network, other NFL media assets in exchange for 10% equity stake in ESPN. Now, I found this very, very interesting. A lot of people feel like this is going to be a conflict of interest as far as you're never going to hear another honest take and all this other shit. So ESPN, a subsidiary of the Walt Disney Company and the National Football League, today announced a non-binding agreement under which ESPN will acquire NFL Network and certain other media assets owned or controlled by NFL, including NFL's linear Red Zone channel and NFL Fantasy, in exchange for a 10% equity stake in ESPN. In addition to the sale of NFL Network, the NFL and ESPN are also entering into a second non-binding agreement under which the NFL will license to ESPN certain NFL content under other intellectual property to be used by NFL Network and other assets. Yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy. These transactions between America's most popular sporting league and the world's most innovative sports media leader are designed to set a new standard for how professional football is delivered, experienced, and celebrated by fans. So NFL owning a 10% stake in ESPN is kind of alarming because it's kind of like, what is the NFL going to put in place as far as, media personnel? What the conversations will be like. I don't really feel like it'll be nothing outlandish because, media is media at the end of the day. Has it changed a lot? Yeah, but I feel like with a lot of independent media rising, there's really not too much of a need to push narratives. These motherfuckers are pushing narratives on their own, regardless of what platform that they on, honestly. So I really don't feel like them owning anything is going to be compromising anything. It's about money at the end of the day, bro. It's about money. That's what it all going to boil down to. We see these type of contracts these players getting on both sides, NFL and NBA, more so NBA side. So as we continue the years go on, you ain't going to see nothing but more money, more transactions, more collaboration between networks and leagues. We already know what the gambling is doing with the NBA and the NFL. All type of shit. Motherfuckers getting podcast deals with gambling, like DraftKings, Underdog Fantasy, Prize Picks. Hey, one of y'all holler at me one day. Holler at me. But we all know what's going on. Like at the end of the day, you got to think a lot of people feel like as if let's collaborate and get some bread, man. That's what it's about at the end of the day. Ain't no need to be separate. Ain't no need to beef. Ain't no need to compete. A lot of these leagues looking at it like, hey, bro, let's just go ahead. Let's get this money together. That's how I look at it. So I'm interested to see how it looks like as far as the output, what it's gonna look like, especially with the NFL red zone and all that shit, how that's gonna work out with NFL Network. Because man, that's gonna get crazy. That's gonna get crazy. The NBA also announced, let me see. NBA also announced their opening day schedule. Let me see if I can find that shit because it's looking kind of crazy, bro. The official. So this is what Christmas Day is gonna look like. So for the NFL, you got Lions at Vikings, Cowboys at Commanders, Broncos and Chiefs. NBA, you got Cavs at Knicks, Spurs at Thunder, Rockets at Lakers, Mavs at Warriors, Smools at Nuggets. And also, Roger Goodell said the other day, this is a nice shot. He said, we're not competing with the NBA. We're competing with Google and Apple. I was like, That's a fact, though. A lot of you niggas who pro NBA, y'all gonna have to let that shit go. NFL running shit. I've been saying it for years. NFL reigns supreme in America, bruh. That's just what it is. You niggas gonna have to get in line. Get down and lay down. But, it's a pretty good lineup. This is a pretty good lineup. On Christmas, but it was a perfect layup to have Mavericks and Lakers. I don't know why the fuck you did Rockets and Lakers. As far as the NFL, all hits. Lions and Vikings, Cowboys and Commanders, Broncos and Chiefs, all division games. Division rivals on Christmas Day. NFL set up shop on NBA, what was that, 3 years ago? And they ain't looked back since. The ratings ain't lying. Bro. NBA opening night. Now, I will give credit to Adam Silver for this. You got Rockets at the Thunder when they dropping a banner, and you got Warriors and Lakers. Now, I kind of overlooked the Warriors and Lakers off the simple fact of the Rockets and Thunder. That's a banger opening night game. You got KD coming back to OKC watching them lit the banner, and he's the greatest Thunder of all time. That was a nice job, Adam. I got to give you credit on that. That was a good one. I like what you did with that. You wasn't fucking around on that. I'll give you credit on that one. That's fire. As far as the Warriors and Lakers, I'm tired of that shit. I'm tired of this Warriors. Y'all forcing this motherfucking Warriors and Lakers rivalry, bro. That shit is not a rivalry. I'm sorry. It's never been. I've never been a fan of this Warriors-Lakers narrative. Y'all trying to... It's not a rivalry, bro. Stop giving us primetime games with the Warriors and Lakers, bro. Niggas don't want to see that shit. Outside the Warriors and Lakers, niggas don't want to see that. Y'all been forcing this shit. You got Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, and I'm tired of seeing that shit. I don't want to see no more Warriors and Lakers on primetime basketball, bro. I don't want to see that shit. But Rockets and Thunder on opening night, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Salute to y'all on that. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got this week. Also, sneaker news, man. Hey, man, sneakers. We coming up on the back end of the year. We got a strong back end of the year, bro. I got my list. So on this back end, we got, we just had Aqua Age drop. We had Steel 10s drop. Yo, Steel 10s being limited. And I remember before I copped, I saw a tweet that said there was only like 10,000 pairs. And I found that interesting. It's like, oh, I see what they doing. Like, y'all really driving up the hype for these motherfuckers. Because we hadn't had Steel 10 since 2013. And I'm looking at this shit like, damn, 10,000? So I got the Nike app. Fuck sneakers app. I don't fuck with the sneakers app. I deleted that app 2020. Everything that I copped off an app over the last 3-4 years has been off the Nike app. Most of the time I'm hitting on that motherfucker. So I said, all right, cool. I'm gonna try to cop. Went in there, I copped on the Nike app. A lot of people took L's on them Steel 10s, bro. That was kind of amazing to me. A lot of the stores didn't get them. And I was kind of shocked, bro. I'm like, damn, Steel 10s is not hitting like as a GR release? That's kind of crazy. But on this back end, we got some strong releases coming up. We got the Nike SB 95. That's on the 22nd. We got Shot It Backboards. That's coming out on 23rd. A lot of people like the Undefeated release. I've never been a fan of the Undefeated 4. That's just me. I just never been a fan of that sneaker, bro. I don't understand the hype behind it. Fire Red 5's crazy, coming out September 13th. I got a DS pair of the 06 release. You got the Jordan 10. These as far as the ones that I want to cop. The sneakers that I'm naming or the sneakers that I plan on copying for the rest of the year. So you got the Jordan 10 Shadow dropping October 29th. I got the 2018 pair. Taxi 12s November 8th. That's the only 12 I really don't got. And I did have the Countdown pack pair, but I sold that like back in 2018-19. And then you got the Air Jordan 8 Bugs Bunny pair dropping December 20th. And as far as the 11s being on the Christmas release again, I'm going to say this, bro. The Jordan 11 has become very, very overrated, bro. I know for a lot of people it has been overrated for years. But outside the OG colorways, that sneaker ain't really moving on nothing, bro. It's really not. It's really Space Jams will always be the best. Of course, you got the Breads, Cool Grays. But outside of that, bro, that sneaker is kind of like they forcing it with the Christmas drops, bro. If it ain't the OG colorways for real, I don't know what niggas like. I don't get why y'all like the Gamma, bro. That Gamma is arguably the most overrated Jordan of all time, bro. All time. That's just get it out of here, bro. Get it out of here. But salute to the sneaker drops this year, man. It's been a great year for 2025. 2026 is going to be even better. I did see a mock-up of, and this was a real picture, of an all-leather infrared 6 on some reimagined Bread 4 type shit. I need that. That's my favorite Jordan of all time, infrared 6. If we get a tumbled leather infrared 6, nigga, I need 3 pairs. I need 3 fucking pairs, bro. Real shit. But again, shout out to the year. It's been a dope year for sneakers. It's going to continue to be a dope year, man. So I just wanted to touch on that real quick. But other than that, man, that's pretty much all I got this week, man. Again, thank y'all for tapping in with me. Shit, we 14 weeks into this thing, man. I can't believe I'm 14 episodes in, man. We could continue to run this thing up. Again, appreciate all the support I'm getting on all the platforms. Again, check me out on SoundCloud, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram at I'm Not Repeating Myself Pod, TikTok, I'm Not Repeating Myself Pod. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. Thank you for tapping in with me on this journey. I'm going to continue to run this thing up, man. Continue to get y'all ass in the gym. Stay alert, stay healthy, and ultimately, please be safe out here. So, like I say every week, man, this is I'm Not Repeating Myself podcast. I'm your host, Mike, and I hope you heard what I said the first time because I'm not repeating myself.